In a small, decaying town surrounded by endless woods, a legend whispered of a haunting melody, a lullaby that beckoned the lost. No one knew who first heard it, but everyone knew its deadly reputation. Those who followed the song were never seen again, leaving behind only echoes of their screams. Amara, a skeptical journalist, arrived in the town seeking a breakthrough story. The villagers spoke in hushed tones, warning her about the lullaby of Eldermoor. They claimed it only played at dusk, when the woods were cloaked in mist. Intrigued and dismissive of the warnings, she decided to investigate. On her first night, Amara set up camp at the forest's edge, camera ready. The air grew dense as twilight fell, and a faint, eerie melody drifted through the trees. It was hauntingly beautiful, like a mother's gentle hum, but it carried a weight of sorrow that made her chest tighten. She ventured deeper into the woods, her flashlight slicing through the dark. The song grew louder, more intricate, almost as if it were alive. Shadows danced around her, though no wind stirred the branches. Her pulse quickened, yet she pressed on, determined to uncover the truth. Amara stumbled upon a dilapidated cabin surrounded by wildflowers. The melody seemed to emanate from within, its notes weaving through her thoughts, urging her closer. Against her better judgment, she pushed the door open. The air inside was heavy, smelling of decay and damp earth. The cabin was empty, save for a single rocking chair that creaked back and forth, as if someone invisible occupied it. On the floor lay a dusty music box. Its lid was ajar, revealing a tarnished ballerina spinning in slow, uneven circles. The lullaby stopped abruptly, plunging the cabin into silence. A child's laughter echoed behind her. Amara whipped around, her flashlight trembling in her grip. There stood a pale girl with hollow eyes, clutching a worn teddy bear. "You've come to play," the girl whispered, her voice layered with the cadence of the lullaby. "Stay with us forever." Amara backed away, but the girl stepped closer. The shadows seemed to stretch and reach for her, wrapping around her ankles like tendrils. Desperation surged through Amara as she stumbled out of the cabin, only to find the woods transformed. The trees loomed taller, their branches intertwined to block any view of the sky. The path she had taken was gone, replaced by gnarled roots and impenetrable darkness. The lullaby returned, louder and more sinister, as if mocking her. She ran blindly, her breath ragged and shallow. Faces appeared in the trees, their mouths open in silent screams. The girl's voice echoed all around her, chanting, "You can't leave. Not now." Amara's flashlight flickered and died. In the suffocating blackness, she felt a cold hand clasp hers. She screamed, but no sound came out. The last thing she saw was the pale girl's empty gaze, pulling her into an abyss. The next morning, the villagers noticed something strange. The woods seemed to hum faintly, as if carrying an unseen presence. An elder approached the forest's edge to place an offering, a practice to appease whatever lingered inside. They found an item Amara's notebook, charred at the edges, lying on the mossy ground. The pages were filled with frantic scribbles, detailing her encounter. Sketches of the pale girl, the cabin, and the music box adorned the margins. On the last page, written in shaky handwriting, were the words, "Don't listen. Don't follow. It's not a lullaby. It's a trap." Days later, Amara's brother, Elias, arrived in the town. He had heard nothing from her since she ventured to Eldermoor. Determined to find her, he questioned the villagers, but they refused to help. The only answer he received was a warning. Once the woods take someone, they're lost. Leave while you still can. Elias ignored them and entered the forest. Unlike his sister, he was prepared a backpack filled with survival gear, a map, and a charm given by a villager to ward off spirits. The charm, a small carved figure, emitted a faint warmth in his hand, giving him a sliver of confidence. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the familiar melody began. Elias froze, his heart pounding, as the song enveloped him. It tugged at his emotions, stirring forgotten memories of lullabies sung by his mother. Shaking his head, he pressed on, whispering to himself, "It's not real. Stay focused." The forest seemed alive, shifting with every step he took. The map became useless as paths twisted and disappeared. The trees whispered secrets he couldn't understand, and shadows moved in the corners of his vision. The charm grew colder, its warmth fading as the song grew louder. He found the cabin just as Amara had described in her notes. The wildflowers around it were wilted, their petals blackened. The door creaked open before he touched it, revealing the dim, oppressive interior. The music box sat in the center of the room, its ballerina spinning unnaturally fast. Elias approached cautiously, the charm now ice cold. He picked up the music box, its melody halting instantly. The air thickened, and the shadows coalesced into forms, figures with hollow eyes and gaping mouths. Among them was Amara, her face pale and expressionless. "Elias," she whispered, her voice devoid of emotion. "You shouldn't have come." He reached for her, but the shadows pulled her back. The pale girl appeared, her teddy bear dangling from her hand. "You want her?" she asked, tilting her head. "Then take her place." Elias hesitated. The charm began to crack in his hand. "What do you want?" he demanded, his voice shaking. The girl smiled, revealing sharp, jagged teeth. "To keep you all forever." Realizing there was no escape, Elias hurled the music box to the ground. It shattered, releasing a deafening wail. The figures screamed and dissolved into mist, including the girl. Amara collapsed to the floor, gasping for air. The siblings ran, guided by the faint glow of the charm's final embers. The woods seemed to fight against them, roots tripping them and branches clawing at their clothes. But as dawn broke, they burst free, collapsing on the dew-soaked grass. The villagers found them hours later. Amara and Elias left the town immediately, vowing never to return. Yet, as they drove away, the faint melody of the lullaby played on the wind, reminding them that some songs never truly end.